Hello, in this video, I would like to show how I can build a simple conversational agent or a chat model that can accept the input of images, and it works with the Anthropic Claude 3 model, as well as allows to give the instructions via voice or text. It's very simple, and then on future videos, I will expand on that to create an agent or agents. So let's get started. First, what's Flowise? As you see here, this is the landing page of Flowise. It's an open source low code tool to allow creating AI agents and other flows using LLMs. And it's very popular. Under the hood, it uses a LangChain and also LlamaIndex. That's something that's very interesting. It can use LlamaIndex or LangChain, even though LlamaIndex is less developed yet, but I think it's a good start. And even though there are no code tools that are easier to use, I think this provides a lot of flexibility, not as much as developing directly in code with both LangChain or LlamaIndex, but enough to be able to do things very quickly and make great stuff. So let's start. The first thing that you need is let's look at the documentation. You need to install Flowise. So basically you open the terminal and you copy this. And then once it's installed, you can start it via npx Flowise start, and it will open localhost 3000. This is to start doing things and testing and all of that. Of course, once you have done that, you need to deploy this in the cloud, but we are going to cover that later on. For now, you start to see how we can build something locally. So I already did these two things, and I open Flowise, and I have some chat flows already in place. So that's why you see all these things here. And you have on the left the chat flows that you are creating, the marketplaces, which are templates that are already available for you. So if you want to ask questions to a document, you can see this one. That's a conversational retrieval chain at here, and it does other things. Well, I cannot edit this unless I say use template. And there are many. I'm not going to explain this one in particular. I'm just going to care for the thing that I'm going to do next. And then the tools. This is because you can create custom tools. For instance, these three, Airtable, create rows, and extract audio from YouTube and transcribe audio. These are tools that I created for some of the flows. I will show some of that also in future videos. Assistants, this part works with the OpenAI assistant. So you can create an assistant here to use in your flows. And these things are for the credentials that you have. So I don't need to cover that right now. So let's start with chat flows, and I will create one new. So add new, and I have a blank slate here. And then let's say this already to put some name. And let's say this is vision analysis with Claude 3. Okay, we save that. And then we need to start with a chat model here. So I want a chat model. And since I say that I'm going to use Anthropic, let's use Anthropic here. So I move this here. And here it asks me for the connections, the create connections. So basically, I have already configured that, but if you need to create a new one, basically you need to go to Anthropic and open an account and look at the API. It's very simple. That's almost self-explanatory. If you have any problems, ask me the questions and I will provide more details, but I think that's not necessary. Since I already created that, I have my credentials already there. And the model name is which model I want to use of Claude. And the least expensive one is the Haiku, which is very fast as well. Let's start with that one. Then the second best is the Sonnet, and the best is Opus 3 Opus, which is the most powerful, but it's also more expensive. This is quite inexpensive and very fast. So let's start with this one. And temperature, let's say 0.7 for now. And I want to allow image uploads because this is the purpose of this thing. So this is the chat tool that I'm gonna use, but then I have to select a conversation chain or an agent or something like that. In this case, let's start with a conversation chain. So let's close this conversation chain. And I can use this one. I connect this to this. Normally, I will start by the end node that is this one. But since I wanted to use Anthropic, I decided to start here. For memory, we need to also use some memory, basically to keep track of the conversation. Otherwise, it will not know what happened before. So the memory is important. And there are a lot of options. For everything, we have a lot of options. So here, the buffer memory is good for testing. But if you want to do something more robust, probably you want to use the Upstash Redis backend chat memory or the CEP memory or even the MongoDB Atlas or something like that. But for now, let's do the buffer memory. We don't need anything else. Let's move this a little bit. And I can put a template, chat prompt template if I want. We can see here what it does. Let's expand a little bit so you can read better. So in this case, I can do a template here. So it will guide the chatbot or the application that you are building how to work. In this case, I don't need that, and I don't need input moderation. Input moderation is a ways to detect text that could be harmful or prevent it from being used for something bad. But in this case, I don't need that either. And I think that's it. I have all that I need here. Is the other thing that I'm gonna do is now first I save this, and then I'm going to go to configuration, and I want to allow speech to text. And I choose the provider. Since I have an account with OpenAI already, I will use Whisper. You could use Assembly as well. Probably in the future they will add more. That's what they are saying. So I think that's quite interesting. In connect credentials, let's use this one. Language English, and I don't need any prompt here. Okay. So let's save this, close, save again, just in case. And now let's test this thing. It's super simple, but let's test this. And let's say that I'm gonna capture an image. Let me look for some image here. This one, for instance, that is an image of human cell. And I can type here, but I can use voice. So I will use voice in this case. Please analyze this image for me. Tell me what it's about. I click enter. And here we see that it's working. And as you can see, it's saying this image appears to be a detailed illustration of a human cell. The title at the top clearly states human cell, indicating that this is a visual representation of the internal structure and components of a human cell. And of course, you can read the rest, but it's pretty accurate. So that's fantastic. Let's try again. Let's capture another one. Let's do this one. Tell me what's the story that this series of illustrations are trying to tell. The series of illustration appears to be telling a story about a young girl's day routine and activities. In the first panel, we see the girl sitting at the table, eating what looks like breakfast. This suggests the start of the day. The next panel shows her brushing her teeth, likely part of her morning hygiene routine. The third panel depicts the girl playing with toys, indicating a period of playtime. And the fourth one shows that she's preparing for daytime. Okay, the third one, she's basically preparing to go to school. It didn't interpret it that well, but in general, it did a very good job. And this is the less powerful model. So as you can see, this is quite nice. Okay, let's close this. We can do a few more things here. We can share this in different ways. So we can embed this in our website, copying this. And of course, we can modify the colors and the look and feel of the chatbot, clicking here, and we can change a lot of things. I'm not gonna play with that right now. Probably in a future video, we will play with that, but just for you to know. Here's the Python, how to use this in Python or JavaScript. And Coral, if you want to use as an API directly, as a REST API. And also you can share the chatbot directly. So you can share this. You have to make it public. And you can require authentication or not. In this case, for this example, I will not use that. So if I click here, paste, I have the chatbot here, and here I can ask questions. So I think this is it for this video. I hope you like it.